It's there. We've won a game. We've actually won a game of football. You are not dreaming. Arsenal have won a game of football. Arsenal winning 2-0 against Southampton. Hello, welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show. This is nice. This is a nice feeling. Well, I'm not going to get too excited. We're ninth now, but we're not bottom half. So that's a success in itself. Hello, welcome to the show. Really appreciate you tuning in and catching up with us to break down Arsenal's 2-0 victory over Southampton. Let's go through some initial reaction. I want to hear some words in the chat box, guys. Let's see what you want to say about that game. Euros, we will take it. Is a nice way to sum it up. 100%. Can't complain about that. Just going to take that win. I mean, Southampton is actually... It's a rather tough place to go for us, not specifically the league, seeing as they failed to win more home games than anyone else, Southampton have. But in recent times, Arsenal have really struggled to go to St Mary's. So it's a bit of a bogey team. So I'm quite happy with that, 100%. That was better. I saw that from Robert. It definitely was better. Anonymous says, yeah, Champions League top next season. A little bit ambitious, I'm going to say. Joseph Maseko says, wasn't really... it's just gone past me. I'll not catch it. Wasn't really that good of a performance, in my opinion. Still, Joseph, come on. We've won. Let's just bask in the enjoyment of an actual win rather than the usual dull misery. Don't worry, we'll get to some criticisms. We will. But I want to focus on the good things first. First of all, goal scorers. Nketiah pounced on an absolutely horrific mistake by McCarthy, but you take it all day long. And Willock scoring his first Premier League goal, I believe, as well. I mean, it's just good to see the youngsters scoring. Arteta's been putting faith non-stop in those guys. So to see them getting a goal each is really good and will do really good for their confidence. I'm going to come on to the effect of that win a little bit later on because I want to talk about sort of the last 5 minutes and what we saw in Arsenal in the last 5 minutes. If we have a look at some of the really big performances, though, firstly, Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka has been such a sorely missed player in the 1 9/10 that he missed of Manchester City. I mean, it's so refreshing to be able to come on the show and be like, you know what, I've backed this guy so many times. Yes, I've been critical. Yes, I feel like we should still improve on him. But finally, it's coming to the fore that he is our best centre midfielder. It's just fact. He is the best centre midfielder of the club. And that probably says more about the club than it does Xhaka. But at the same time, he is so necessary to what Arteta wants the club to do. And he bossed the middle of the park. Absolutely bossed it. Next one, Emi Martinez. Wasn't called upon loads of times, but when he was solid. There was a save at the end. I believe it might have been from Long. It was definitely from Ings, wasn't it? And the way that he managed to get a hand on it and then pounce on the rebound as well was really good. It just fills you with confidence. And I think it definitely adds that little bit of confidence to the defence as well. You know that you're a defence, you've got Bernd Leno behind you, you're pretty confident with that. Emi Martinez comes in, hasn't played for a long time. You're going to be a little bit concerned. But when you see him pulling off saves like that, you can't really complain too much about that. So it was absolutely buzzing with Emi Martinez's performance. And then the third one, who was arguably man of the match, was Rob Holding. Rob Holding was superb today. Absolutely fantastic. Headed every single cross that came into the box away, stuck in with challenges, positionally was great. And it was just really refreshing and nice to see someone that has been criticised a lot of not being sort of the same player since he returned from injury, coming back and doing really, really well. Let's look at some of the positives then of what you're saying in the chat box. Omar says Holding was brilliant. W from Jasem, 100%. Currency says Emi Martinez's distribution is not great. Did you not see that ball at the end to Aubameyang? What are you watching? It's fine. Yes, it's not Bernd Leno, and that's why he's not a starting goalkeeper. But it's not great. I'm sorry, I don't really go along with that whatsoever. And actually, Pachen says his kicking is better than Leno's. So there you go. My hair says Bellerin and Sabas linking up at Rayo Vallecano next season. Yeah, we're going to come on to talk about Bellerin in particular. Ozzy Guna says something most people get over is the combination between Saka and Alba. Only been together half a season and they seem like they know each other and it's going to seem like what the other is going to do before they do it. It's just sort of that instinctual thing about their game, isn't it? It's just they know exactly what the other one's going to do and when. And actually, when you look at what Saka provides, he provides us with so much energy on that left-hand side. And actually, Arteta went for sort of a different formation. It was a three at the back, with Mustafi, Holding and Tierney, and then Pepe and Saka sort of acted as wide wing-backs/wingers with Ceballos and Xhaka in the middle, and then you had Nketiah and Aubameyang sort of up top and interchanging. Aubameyang skewed slightly to the left. It was a really odd, fluid formation, but it worked quite nicely. I did enjoy a lot of what we saw, for sure. So I was really happy with that. Really happy with that. And then it switched. It switched towards the end of the game because Tierney annoyingly seems to have picked up a knock. I don't know if that's serious. Kolasinac came on, and that meant Saka pushed further up the pitch into more of a wide role. And that actually released Aubameyang into a lot more open spaces through the middle. And that led, obviously, to the challenge, which meant they went down to 10 men and we scored from the resulting free kick, which was obviously a rebound, but you take them every single day. Was it an amazing performance? No, it wasn't an amazing performance. It was solid. It was good. There was individual performances, like I've mentioned, of Xhaka, Emi Martinez and Rob Holding that was really good. Enjoyed those a lot. But there were some quiet performances. Hector Bellerin, I thought, really struggled today. I thought that he just misplaced a lot of passes. Yes, he's played 90 minutes of each of the last 3 games now. And when he's coming back off an injury, which is what we'll continue to say until things pick up, that can be expected. You can expect them that he's going to dip, his form will go down. But I thought that then had a knock-on effect on how Pepe was able to influence the game. Pepe's was exceptionally quiet in the first half, came alive a little bit more in the second half, and that was mainly down to him not getting the service from Bellerin. Whereas if you look at the other side, Saka and Aubameyang were just like lightning. They linked up so well. So you've really got sort of a lopsided situation now where Bellerin's not really supporting Pepe, but Saka and Aubameyang have got that good relationship going on. So maybe when Cedric is fit and we see what Cedric is about, he can come in for Bellerin and we'll see a little bit. I don't really know. And I'd be very surprised if Sat Ainsley Maitland-Niles doesn't get a run at right back with Bellerin playing so many games, because fitness-wise, it can't be productive. Surely it can't. So fingers crossed he can get a rest and taken out the limelight and then the taken out of the sights, shall we say, in that sense, for sure. Controversies of the day. Before we go on to the controversies, let's see what you think about Bellerin and that. Let's have our thoughts on Bellerin. So Tekos Man says Bellerin struggled progressing the ball above anything else. Yeah, getting forward, passing the ball, it was really clunky. James Morrison says Bellerin was very poor first half, lost the ball countless times. Zamir says Cedric will come good into right back when he is healthy. I don't know. I don't know if Arteta considers him a starting right back over Bellerin. It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens between those two, for sure. Dylan says Bellerin and Ceballos caught in possession too much. The thing with Ceballos is he's a really risky player. He takes the ball forwards. He tries to do little pirouettes and turns, which can be really frustrating at times. But obviously that does mean he's going to lose the ball more often. But it does enable us to escape from the back a lot more. And also the fact that if we passed out from the back non-stop, we often can get caught. But Ceballos does enable you to sort of drive out from the back in a different way. So I think his part of his game is useful, but it's certainly not something you can use in the long term. I saw a question. If I've just missed it, here we go. Abe says, who was your man of the match? I think it has to go to Rob Holding. I can't disagree with what Alan Smith thought. Rob Holding, for me, was absolutely brilliant. And it's really good to see that a centre-back is doing exceptionally well at the club. So all those people who turn around saying that we need to sell him, well, maybe we need to give him a bit more of a chance. So let's move on to the controversies of the game. The first one, Matteo Guendouzi left out the squad completely. Now, if you watched the Raw Reaction show to the Brighton game the other day, you could tell how fuming I was with Matteo Guendouzi's behaviour at the end of the game. And I'm glad that action has been taken. I think it's important for Arteta to sort of stamp his authority, tell players where the line is and how you should be acting at a football club. And so to be taken out of the squad, he called it squad management, but then he did go on to talk about it being sort of in-house issues being dealt with privately. So for me, I was more than happy for Guendouzi to face a punishment for that. No problem with that whatsoever. Do I see him changing? No, I don't really see his attitude changing at all. I think that is just the type of player that Guendouzi is, and it's going to mean that we suffer that sometimes from, I think, it's a sort of a French midfield version of Diego Costa in a way that he's our bastard. But it's just, he's a really, really talented young player, but attitude-wise, it's concerning, and I am worried about Guendouzi a lot. Let me know your thoughts on Guendouzi in the chat box, and if you're watching on playback, please leave your thoughts on Guendouzi in the comments section below. Let's see what you're saying on that. Christopher says, love that Arteta kept Guendouzi out of the matchday squad. Had he gone right into Mopé's face after the incident and gave him a small shove, it would have been totally different. I mean, that's the thing, is that like he strangled the bloke, and you just can't act like that. He's lucky to have not escaped with a ban from the FA. Ozzy Guna says, Matteo reminds me of a child, and I'm only a few years older than him. Probably well summed up there, mate. Currency says, Guendouzi is a spoilt kid. It's a shame to see his attitude's not improving so far. I really, really hope it does, because there's a lot of talent there. If it doesn't, though, we've got an asset that we could possibly sell. So there is that you need to look at too. The next thing was Mesut Ozil, or the Umbrella Man, as he's now going to get called. That is going to get turned into a meme so quickly. It's going to be ridiculous how quickly that becomes a meme about Mesut Ozil. Once again, left on the bench, didn't play. Whilst was selected to be in the squad, he looked exceptionally fed up. The only thing I can think of in this situation now is that he's being forced out. Is that he's being treated like you can come along for the games and you can sit on the bench, but you're not going to play. And if that's the case, then he needs to move on. But we've heard it time and time again that this guy is determined to see out his contract. And can you blame him when he's earning 350 grand a week to sit with an umbrella in the sun? It must be nice. There's links to Turkey. Fingers crossed something comes of that, because there's no point, no matter what you think of Mesut Ozil, and there's no doubt in the world that he's got amazing talent. He doesn't really fit into the system that Arteta is trying to do at the moment. He hasn't got the energy, and he needs to be moved on, because he's a drain on the finances, and we could put that money elsewhere and put it better to someone that's younger, fits into Arteta's system, and gets some money from a transfer as well. So it's a shame how things are ending with Mesut Ozil. It is, because he's a good player. He's just not consistent, and there's clearly attitude issues with him as well. So that's pretty much it in terms of everything from the game. We move forward now to a Sunday match against Sheffield United in the FA Cup quarter-final. If we win that, we're off to Wembley, or wherever it'll be held. I assume it'll be Wembley. And they're off the back now of losing 3-0 against Manchester United, and obviously without some of their key players could be out. Egan's probably going to be back for that one, I think. Which is frustrating, because he's probably arguably one of their best defenders. So it's going to be a tough game for sure, but they're definitely gettable. They're definitely weak in certain areas, and I think that we've got a chance to possibly get into that semi-final. It's a tough team. It's a really, really tough draw, Sheffield United. But if we can beat them after winning today, start building up some momentum, it's going to be really, really key to how this season ends. If you've got any questions, just to finish off the show, please throw them in the chat box. Let's go through a couple more of your comments. James Morrison says, when is Torreira back? They said he'll be back in full training in a couple of weeks. So he might be back for the last couple of games. If we're in the Cup still, it'd be good to see him back in the competition. But I don't know how much we'll see of Torreira for the rest of the season. It's fair to say. Avon says, Torreira was back in training this week, but it will be a week or two match fitness wise. Yeah, I just think that I don't know how much we'll see of him, because I don't know how I don't know what Arteta really thinks of Torreira, because we haven't really seen him used as much. He's been benched quite a lot under Arteta, so it's going to be intriguing to see where he fits in. Thank you ever so much for the donation, PHP. 150. No, sorry, James. Do you called you by the currency? I don't know what that even is. What is PHP? Someone tell me. Holding played well today. We should give him a run in the team. But unless we get a new owner, I'm worried we may never be top 4 team again. I think before you even look at the owner, I said it on the show yesterday that we need to be looking at Raul Sanyehi. We need to be looking at the recruitment. We need to be thinking about the players that we're going for. We need to think about the decisions that are being made. David Luiz being re-signed to a deal when someone like Malang Sarr was available on a free. I just don't really understand the thought process behind that. So before you look at the owner, which, there's so much criticism to argue at the owner, I think we need to take a big look at Raul. Thibaut Pesque says, shall we sell Bellerin? He was so bad again. I don't know. It depends on the fee. If someone came in with, say, a £30 million bid for Bellerin, which I think would be surprising, I'd be really, really tempted to take it and develop someone else and bring someone else in. So there's an argument now to say, it was quite funny because when we were listening to Devon on the show, on the podcast, on the last podcast, he was saying that when we were linked, when he was linked to Barcelona for 50 million, when we were like, no, of course not. But actually, now you look at it, you think, that was a good deal. It might have been Giant Goonan that said that. It was one of the boys said that, and it kind of rings true now, doesn't it, on the Bellerin side of things? If we could have got 50 million for him, that would have been great. Another super chat. Thank you for the donation. Pramod N, another currency that I have absolutely no idea what that is. But he says, Holding was good. Hector can plant some trees now. He's desperate. I mean, if he'd have turned around and said that he's going to plant a tree for every game we play, great. But don't say for every win, especially considering the form that we're in. But thank you for the donation, mate. I really appreciate that. Joseph Maseko, Tom, Raul has been here for 1 or 2 years. He isn't the reason we're ninth. Poor management over 13, 14 years has caused and led us to this. No, but the point is, Joseph, that you need to take in consideration is that it's part of the problem that a decline is continuing. The whole point of bringing the likes of Raul in is that you need to bring people in that are going to stop that decline. That hasn't happened, and then they need to take accountability for that. So that's why it's not a solid argument to just say he's only been here for a little bit. We've been declining for ages. The whole point of bringing him in was to kind of buck the trend and stop that from happening. So that's where my issues are taken with him. Brad Richardson says, it's been a long time since I've watched Arsenal and been upset at the final whistle. It's nice, isn't it? It's refreshing. It's very nice. I really, really enjoyed the actual feeling of winning. It's nice. Let's scroll up and see if I've missed any of your questions whilst answering some others. Anonymous says, Ozil and Martinelli didn't play because they haven't took the pay cut. Martinelli's injured. I don't know about the pay cut thing. Maybe it's because of that. Maybe it's because of that. If that's the case, then fair enough. I would back Arteta 100% on that because it should be it's a team thing for me. It's 100% a team thing. Marley says, am I? I'm finding it hard to say something positive about Bellerin. Yeah. I mean, positivity. He's completed 3 games of 90 minutes. He's getting games under his belt. Things will hopefully improve, and worst comes to worst, we can get a decent fee for him. That's the positive I'm looking at the moment. Yannick Max has announced Jobbersley. I mean, who'd have thought when I did that video over a year ago, now it must have been, when I did that tactical breakdown on Jobbersley, when basically no one had really heard of him, my links at Red Bull Salzburg, that he would have blown up this much a year later. I wish we'd have got the deal done back then. But he's really... I mean, I saw a cheeky link that apparently talks were advanced between us and Red Bull Salzburg, along with AC Milan. So, I mean, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Kitchener says, just joined in and wanted to say Southampton of today would comfortably beat Brighton. We are our own enemy. Holding was man of the match. Yeah, I think we arguably beat a better side today than we faced in Brighton, 100%. So, yeah, that's where I stand on it. Joseph, let's give you a chance to reply. He said, no one's saying he has no responsibility, but it's disingenuous. Wow. Throw these high-tier vocabulary words in here at me. It's disingenuous to put most of the blame on him. Where's the leadership and long-term planning from the owners over 13, 14 years? Again, the Stan doesn't care, mate. Stan doesn't care. And I'm not passing the buck on blame because it stops at everyone. But I just, you can't just put it solely at that. You've got to look at the whole big picture, and Raul was meant to come in and change things, and that hasn't happened. It's got worse. It has got worse. Andy McDonald, one of our members. If you want to become a member, please do click that join button. When it turns July, the members are going to start getting their exclusive content again, plus they like standing out in our chats and they get priority with their comments. It says, finally, not great, but a win, and we appreciate that. And he follows that up by saying, looking forward to a clean out. Pleased Arteta standing strong, keeping Ozil out. Yes, I think that you emphasise a lot of thoughts of a lot of people. That's going to round up today's show. Please drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Tomorrow will be the podcast at 8:30/9 o'clock. I'll confirm it on Twitter. If you want to know about that, at the Gooner Talk TV. So make sure you're following us over there. We're nearly at 16k followers. So it'd be great if you could come over and drop a follow on us. But other than that, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy watching maybe Liverpool win the league tonight if Man City fail to beat Chelsea. I don't see it happening right now. Could get turned into a meme. Oh well, I don't care. Arsenal have won. And that's all that matters. Enjoy the rest of the evening, people. Up the Arsenal.